Jakob Ingebrigtsen just had another incredible season, becoming the world champion, winning the Diamond League and simply proving that he is the man to beat in the upcoming years in distance running. And this is me ready to copy the workout that Jakob himself says is the toughest workout of the week. When an athlete keeps having these incredible results that Jakob Ingebrigtsen is having and just keeps improving year after year, it makes me as a coach and an athlete myself very interested in the training they do to achieve those amazing results. I mean, just a few years back, no one thought that we would have someone from little Norway becoming the best runner in the world. Except probably one person, and that is Jakob himself, who was determined already as a young boy that he was going to become the best. And after the season that Jakob had, I think many people would agree that he achieved his goal and became the best runner in the world. Of course, he must have extremely good genetics for running, but he must also do a lot of things right when it comes to his training to achieve these incredible results. And what's funny is that not only has Jakob done things that no Scandinavian runner ever has been even close to before him, but his and his brother's success has also led to many Scandinavians copying his style of training, and the whole level of elite runners from this part of the world has actually raised the last couple of years. Sweden just had Andreas Almgren crushing the Swedish 5000 meter record, and he has said himself that his training is heavily inspired by the training that the Ingebrigtsen brothers are doing. I also have incorporated a lot of the Ingebrigtsen training philosophy into my own training and also into the athletes that I do training programs for and coach myself. A while back I tried copying a full Ingebrigtsen training day, which was one of their typical double threshold interval days. So the Ingebrigtsen team do a lot of these controlled sessions where they don't push the pace that hard. Of course, a guy like Jakob Ingebrigtsen still runs crazy fast on these intervals, but compared to the level he's at, the pace is actually not that extreme. They run them in this more controlled threshold pace to be able to run a lot of these intervals and have these double days with 2 interval sessions in one day. But there's one recurring workout in the base training where Jakob Ingebrigtsen allows himself to push a bit harder. And this is the workout that I will try to copy today. On his own Facebook page he has written this about that session. Saturday's hill intervals are by far the heaviest session of the week. Heavy, but an important part of the training. So let's just copy this workout and see what we can learn. If Jakob thinks it's that tough, I will most probably get pretty tired. Before I head into the content of this workout, I just want to say that even though most runners here in Norway seem to have a pretty good picture of what the Ingebrigtsen brothers are doing in their training, it's still really hard to find exact statements from the Ingebrigtsens themselves of the workouts they are doing. And I guess that is by purpose to keep some of their competitive edge. But with that said, after the research I've done, the workout that I will show and do myself today should be very close to what Jakob Ingebrigtsen does on his Saturday workout during base training. So we start off with 20 minutes of easy jogging as a warm-up, and when Jakob does these easy warm-up runs, he runs around 4 minutes per kilometer pace, which gives him 5 kilometers during the warm-up. And I will also do it at my easy pace, which is a bit slower than Jakob's, because 4 minutes per kilometer as warm-up is way too fast for most people, but we gotta remember that Jakob is the best in the world. So for me, these 20 minutes of easy running will give me 4 kilometers as a warm-up. Warm-up jog done, but there's one thing I will do before I get into the meat of this session, and that is 2 simple mobility drills that are really common to do in your warm-up routines. And I also saw Henrik Ingebrigtsen, Jakob's older brother, showing these exercises when he demonstrated a warm-up routine for Norwegian television. So the first thing you do, it's good to have something to keep your balance, something to hold on to, and then you just swing your leg up and down. You can start pretty easy and then start to get a bit higher and push your legs a bit further back. And this will stretch out your hamstring muscles and your quadriceps muscles and your hip flexor muscles in a dynamic way to get you ready to run fast. And the second one, you just swing your leg like this. So pretty much the same, but here you stretch out your glutes and your adductor muscles. I'm all warmed up and ready to start the workout, and to be honest I'm a bit nervous, as you should be before these tougher workouts. And also I've been away from doing more of these serious, tough, hard workout runs for quite a long while, since me and my wife had twins, and the night sleep has been really bad for almost a year now. So I've been focusing mainly on easy running and maintaining as much fitness as possible. But now the nights are starting to get better and I'm ready to start training hard, and I really want to get back in good shape and start racing more again. So hopefully this session will be a good kickstart to that. So the session that I will copy today is their famous hill repeat workout. They run this on a moderate inclined uphill road, and they run 200 meters, which takes them around 40 seconds. So I will have the same interval time, which will mean that I will of course run a bit shorter, since I'm obviously not in the same shape that Jakob Ingebrigtsen is. So I have calculated that for me this session should be around 150 meters on this uphill road to make it 40 seconds. So what they do is that they basically run really hard up the hill, but still a bit controlled, so they don't blow out their legs on the first rep. A good pointer to see if you have hit the right intensity is that it should be really tough, but you should still be able to have the same split times on your intervals from the first one to the last. If those times start getting a lot slower for each rep, you have probably gone out too fast, which is so easy to do on these short intervals. But then you just have to try to adjust the pace and find a pace that you can maintain for the rest of the workout. And they run 10 reps of this, and the rest is just a slow jog down again. And it would be really nice to finish after those 10 reps, because I think at least I will be pretty tired after those first 10. But after that they just have a slightly longer rest of about 5 minutes with an easy jog, and then it's time for 10 more repetitions. Enough talking, let's just start this session and see how I will feel after going up this hill a couple of times. Ten reps done and halfway through the session, and yeah, it's for sure tough running this really hard uphill sprints. Even though they're short, when you push that hard it's pretty painful, and I managed to keep my 40 seconds on the reps so far, but I think I will have to dig deep to do it on the last 10 as well. But before I start pushing through the pain again, I thought I would talk a bit about why I think the Ingebrigtsen are doing this specific workout every week in their base training, and how you can adjust it if you want to make it a bit easier if you're not quite at Jakob's level. While I was doing this workout and preparing this video, I've been thinking a bit of why they do this specific workout every week. Because in one way you could say it's quite weird that these runners that compete on absolute flat surface on the track make it a priority to have their toughest workout on an uphill each week. But for me, coming from a background as a physiotherapist, I must say it makes total sense, and actually is really smart what they are doing. Because the most important thing if you want to keep improve year after year like Jakob is doing is that you manage to stay consistent in your training and manage to do a lot of these tougher workouts week after week and year after year. And to do that, you of course need to stay injury free. And that is why I think they choose to do their toughest effort runs on an uphill during the base training. Because in an uphill, even if you push as hard as maybe your 1500 meters race intensity, the loads on your tendons, joints and muscles is a lot lower compared to running on a flat surface. Because each landing is a lot softer when you're running up a hill. And of course the pace will be lower even though the intensity is the same. So one could say that it is specific enough so you get a lot of the same benefits when it comes to training your running specific muscles and how your body deals with this kind of anaerobic hard effort. But you don't get the same injury risk as if they would have done 40-second intervals on the track at this intensity. Also, I think that running up a hill forces you to have a good and strong stride to keep the momentum up the hill. So as a coach and physiotherapist, I would really recommend these kind of workouts for anyone that wants to improve in their running. So an easy way to adjust this session a bit if you think it's a bit too hard with 20 repetitions is just to have a bit fewer reps, so maybe do 6 times 40 seconds and have a short break and then do 6 more, or whatever number you feel is enough to start with. I promise you, you will get a good workout even though you don't run all of these 20 repetitions. Because as I said, I was pretty tired after the first 10 already, so let's get back and see if I managed to survive the last 10. Okay, I guess this is the worst part of the session, getting back to pushing mode after this short break, but let's just start. The sooner I start, the sooner I will be done. As I was pushing through some of the last intervals, I thought about that even though this workout was tough, it wasn't that extreme. And it made me think that maybe the key takeaway from this video is that the toughest sessions that the top elite runners do is of course tough for them, but they don't go out and kill their legs completely in any single workout, because they know that they gotta show up the day after and put in another day of good training. And this is something I think we at a lower level really need to learn from the best. Having consistency in your training day after day and year after year will always be better than doing one extreme tough workout. I'm done. Now it's only the cool down left. And it was super nice to be back doing some proper training again, although it was pretty tough as well. If you want to watch me when I tried to copy the double threshold interval day of the Ingebrigtsen brothers, you can click here. As always, thanks for watching, train smart, have fun, and I will see you in the next video.